So, I'm supposed to review arts events for Part C. So I'm going to review the Despicable Me 2 movie, and the Birmingham Art Gallery and the Icon Gallery, with my little minions. So there's me going to watch the movie, and me watching the movie. I know. Okay. Good points about the movie. It's a good sequel, and that doesn't really happen very often. There was a good focus on the main reason the brand is so successful, the minions. Without the minions, the movie would be nothing. Not gonna lie. There was good development in the characters because they were established as a family in the last movie, but now they've developed as a family because now the girls wanted a mother as well. So that was a nice little step, and they got a mother in the end. So that was a good addition to the cast with Lucy. And the final good point is how amazing the evil minions are. Okay. The bad points, don't like bad things, but it happened. It took very long to establish what the storyline was, because the first scene you saw this giant magnet ship come in and pick up everything metal, fly away. That was it. And they never said why it was stolen, what it was, and by the end of the movie all you saw was the ship. The ship had nothing to do with anything, which is quite weird. And it would have been a better story if we'd have known what was going on sooner rather than later, because it would have made you more involved in it, if that makes sense. Yeah. Okay. It could have featured the evil minions more. They were great development, but they weren't around for long, because they were literally made, chased after people, and then got neutralised. So it was very quick.
Then there is one left.
Even though it's a child's film, it was too easy to beat the bad guy. Way too easy. Dr. Nefario is the assistant. Sorry if I'm spoiling the film, by the way. He's the assistant to the main guy, and they're all happy, and then suddenly he's going, "I'm leaving," and just left. Yeah, it all fit in the story in the end, but considering how long they'd worked together, it was a bit sudden, without any reason. Yeah, it was good. And there wasn't enough Kyle, the dog, the amazing dog, who is just me in real life. Okay. So I'll give it a 9.5 out of 10, because it's a brilliant film. If I were to redo the film myself, I'd create more of a threat from the mystery villain. You saw the ship picking up metal, which turned out to be for no reason at all. Could have shown the evil minions being kidnapped and created earlier on, so we would have been more worried for them, because throughout the film 1 or 2 went missing, and then they all went missing, and then they were found. It was a bit quick, because the minions are the successful thing, so if you're going to make them be kidnapped or something, you want to be kidnapped earlier on, so you're more like, we need the minions, kind of thing. And make it more difficult for Green Minions to overcome the bad guy at Macho, because they literally used a thing called lipstick taser. Press the end of the lipstick, which throws out a taser. So that knocked him out. Then he got straight back up, and then they've got this thing called the fart gun. So it's literally exactly what it says on the tin. He literally went onto it, shot it at him, and he collapsed, and that was it. There was no fight. There was no running from him, and considering he had the solution which Frank didn't grow like 10 times his size. That's a bit pathetic, not gonna lie. Okay. And definitely explore the evil minions more, potentially have a few escape to the future, because it's something good to develop. Okay, that was the end of Despicable Me. Okay. And now we're after the art gallery with minions in tow. So me and Vicky decided to go there to have a look at the paintings, the different exhibitions, see what it was like. There's me and Vicky.
Where was it, sorry?
Birmingham Art Gallery. So these are examples of the pieces of the art in the gallery. And this one was literally, it looked like a rock, but the description said it was a vase. I don't get how it could be a vase because it's got holes in it. It looked quite nice though. Then this drawing here was literally lines of soldiers next to water. It was an oil painting, and it really stuck out as bold, which is what I like. So I like drawing in felt tips and marker pen, and that's what I like. Okay, and in the foyer there was a piece of art in itself. There was like, I don't know if you can see the wires there. It was literally just a cylinder of wires coming down like that, and in the middle it had beads. Yeah. I found that was probably one of the only pieces I liked in the whole place, and I don't even think it was meant to be a piece of art in itself. I think it was supposed to be a decoration rather than art, does that make sense?
Yeah.
That was very pretty. Okay. My favourite piece of art was like that wavy thing in the foyer, which was this one. It's Perspex Linear Construction, it's called, by Naum Garbo. It was similar to the decor in the foyer, and I like its appearance because while it's very difficult and intricate, it's also even and very pretty. I like even things. And my least favourite was this. Don't know if you can see.
Just about there. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. It looked to me as if it was literally, do you know when you do decorating and you've got a colour chart and you're matching the colours up to each other and you're like, what will go nice together? It looked like that to me, and it's not what I consider as art. It doesn't look to me as if it's had enough thought and time and process to define as art. I know there's this whole question, what is art, but I've got my own opinion. Okay. To improve the exhibitions and art, I would create different sections between modern and older art, because going around there was the odd modern thing dropped about, but everything was mostly prehistoric, historical, and it was just a bit of a mess. I was thinking potentially do a chronological order journey kind of thing through the art. So it starts off old and generally gets newer by the time you're out. I'd definitely feature more modern art as well, because it was dominated by older paintings and sculptures, which is fair enough because it's still art, but I think people like to see a range of art when you go to see an art gallery, because it's supposed to have different things in the gallery. All in all, nothing apart from the abstract wire pieces really hit me in a significant matter. I was quite disappointed by something that was held in high regard in Birmingham. And onto the icon. There's Rosemary and Dickie's icon at the weekend, and with bright lights. I was quite impressed already, because it's very happy and opening. And you just get them in. So walking around the corner, literally, in the window, so kind of like a window, it had like a funnel coming out of it. And at first we all put our eyes to it, seeing if it was a telescope or something, but actually in the description next to it, you had to put your ear to it and say, oh, the seesaw. Which is quite cool. It was a good piece of sensible art. Okay, so we went up the first floor of steps, which was see-through, which was horrible. And there's a lift which you went up in, and it like sang up in scale, and you went down, and it sings down in scale. I didn't go in because I was getting the lift, so it was all the time. So yeah, this one artist was Tim Johnson. He was, I remember rightly, he was an Indian man who collaborated with different artists on his work. So he'd draw like the background of stuff and certain figures. Then he'd send them on to other artists who would paint over that. So they'd add different things to it, add a different background. So in this painting, well, you can't see very well, he did the background all pastels and looked like it was like a setting, and then sent it to another artist, and they put figures in it to make it look like a village. Which is quite cool. And they did an Aboriginal version where they put all the dots around it to make the figures stand out. My favourite piece of that one was this little one. Basically, it was watercolour paintings on canvases, and it was made to look like it was different planets, different rock caves and stuff. And then they sent that on to another artist, and they painted UFOs on it. So it looked like different UFOs going through the planets, which is quite cool. I quite like that. Okay, they run up to another level, to 3 drawing rooms by David Tremlett. Literally, the rooms were, as you can see, the lines. It was just rooms painted like that. Just lines going down, lines going across with different colours. I did like the colours because even though it's quite dark with the black, grey and white, the red and blue made it stand out a bit more. But this one, it wasn't as great because they were all quite complementary colours. But it still looked nice. But I did notice on this, where because these were all painted on the walls, they weren't stuck onto the walls. The rooms were actually just painted. And you saw on some of them that they still had the pencil marks where they'd measured it. So that wasn't completely appealing. Could have at least painted over that bit, especially because there was, I think you could slightly see it there, it was white and then it was white. So they could have at least painted over that bit. And then in the corner, this is what I'm looking at on the photo, I found there was different parts which had more paint on than others, so it looked like a puddle on it. And that was very unsightly as well. Okay. So when we were on our way out, we found another room. Literally, we started going down some stairs, and there was a little room there. So we decided to go in it, as you can see. And in it was a man talking on a video of people walking in the street, and he was in a boring voice. I know I'm doing the same, but hey. And we just didn't listen to it because it was that unappealing. We didn't, so we made think books instead. It was much more fun that way, visual art instead of listening. Okay. So overall, I love the icon. I thought it could be better because it was very spacious, but there was only so there was a wall that big. There was just one big in the middle of it. It was good because it made more focus on the one piece. But I think other artists could have benefited by having their work in space as well. And yeah, the work was something that was significant. That was I could actually remember and actually be inspired by. Because I've done Aboriginal work before, and that's quite fun to do. Because you do like so many hundreds of dots to make out a picture. It's really nice. I like doing that. And there was a little shop in it as well, which is almost such got some badges to go for my badge collection. Okay, so my comparison, I definitely preferred the icon to the art gallery. It was more fresh, more bright, more welcoming. The staff actually spoke to you, whereas the art gallery, the staff were just sat there like this. And it was dark, it was gloomy, there was nothing really eye-catching. And it just felt a trek, really. I definitely recommend going to the Argonne if you're in Birmingham because it's really nice, and I want them to expand their space. It looks like a big place, but it's not actually that big at all. And I think it will benefit more people if there was more work in it. There we go.
Wow. I'm scared to do this.
Shall we do feedback?
Yeah, that was good. I'm going to apologise for banging the cup. It was because I was trying to write about.
So I was more concerned about the 2 phones which were in play.
I was trying to. I realised halfway through that I should be writing. Yeah, so I've kind of scribbled down here. It was great to see that you. This is to do with the film. That it was great to see that you looked at both the bad and the good points. You reflected on how the film could have been made better. And then for Birmingham museums and galleries, I said that you discussed some of the individual pieces. That was good as opposed to the whole thing. And you included the pieces that you didn't like as well as the ones that you did like, which was good. And you didn't only talk about the art, you talked about the venue and how it could be improved with displaying the arts in different ways. And then when you moved on to the icon, you discussed individual artists as well as just the actual artwork. And you did a comparison between all 3 at the end, which I thought was really, really nice just to round it off. And then also you did like a recommendation, which was I thought was quite good, quite useful.
That was me. The first review I really like it because it felt like you were knowledgeable about the movie, like the little details and little names. That was really good. And the gallery, the first one, the description of the work was in depth, so that works in your favour. And then you talk about the artist itself as well as the work, so you didn't just talk about what you saw, but it seems to felt like you researched a little bit more. In the other gallery, you talk. I really like the fact that you talk about the suggestion about how to improve the gallery and how you compare both galleries in your opinion as well. And you link the work you saw to your own work, and also talked about what you like and what you didn't like, and give really good reason as to why. Yeah, so that is very good. Well done.
Okay, I thought that it's good to have a comparison between the art galleries that works really, really well, because they offer similar things, but are very, very different at the same time. It was really good that you weighed out the goods and the bads of everything.
Yeah.
And it was good that you had a presentation to go with your review, because that was really cool. It made it visually interesting as well as auditionally interesting.
I thought that I really enjoyed sort of your reviews, and it was very interesting the things that you picked up on, particularly in the galleries. And I wanted to ask you a question. Do you understand, are you aware of the role of a curator?
I've heard it in Doctor Who, but I'm not too sure entirely.
Because the comments that you were making were actually about how the exhibitions were curated more than about what was exhibited. So, for example, yes, you commented on the artist's work and sort of the some things to do with quality of work or choice of work, but the where work is exhibited and how it's displayed and the choices that are made is actually the role of a curator or of a group of curators who are, so there will be professional curators who work for both organisations. So both Birmingham Museum and Art Gallery, they'll have their own team there. And so I think Toby Watley is one of the team members there. And then they have a team in Icon who work with artists over months and years to bring their work to Icon. And Icon is both are world-class museums, but Icon is a leading contemporary art museum, and people come from all over the world to see the work that's there. But people exhibit, so artists from all over the world exhibit there. And someone within the team arranges that, makes that happen, and also makes decisions about which gallery space is used, how it's prepared. There's a whole team that will paint the whole place a particular colour, for example. Or, you said about where the art form was positioned to the right, or, you said that there could be more of things in there. That's actually someone's choice to leave it like that. So I think that what would be very interesting for you is to discover a bit more about the professional role of a curator, because that was the thing that you most commented on. So that's my feedback to you is, and I think if I could say anything was, because you showed such interest in it, I perhaps would have liked to have heard you demonstrate an interest in the role of curating. So as I've raised your awareness to it now, it'd be nice to see that you kind of explore that a bit further. Okay.
Thank you.